I wish to talk about this one. I mean, usually this coaching and a conventional coaching or preparation methods, these are not much different from our board exam or our semester exam. I mean, in board exam and semester exam, in ordinary college, okay, I'm saying in the state colleges, state universities like that, what we usually do, I mean, we guess the question, am I right? Okay, this question will come, this, again, we used to study half topic, leave other half topic and score very well in our sem exam, isn't it? I mean, so guessing the question, I mean, what question which came last to last year, we used to study that question paper and we used to, I mean, prepare for that one. I mean, last year question will not come, but again, before that questions will come. We used to study like that. Guessing the questions and preparing, that's what continued in the conventional coaching method. That's not much surprise. I mean, that is, I think that is not much different from how we prepared for our SEM exam. I mean, preparing for particular question, preparing by assuming that this question would appear. Okay, so that is what conventional coaching method was practicing. And next thing is creating formula for all previous MCQs. So that was another practice that was there in our conventional preparation method, and creating tricks for those questions who already appeared. I mean, that they may not appear again. You will see that one. I mean, year by year, new questions are coming. Very innovative questions are coming. Difficulty is increasing. So, but again, preparing formula sheet or preparing formulas or notes on the basis of the question which came earlier, and making student by hearting those formula and solving previous MCQs or solving MCQs which are similar to previous MCQs. So this was another practice in the conventional method actually. And notes, I'm not talking about lecture note. If you see MIT Princeton lecture note, they are like books only, because those professors have written very famous books also. I mean, MIT Princeton, MIT Open Courseware lectures note. I'm not talking about that lecture note. I'm talking about coaching class note. I mean, synopsis, kind of highlighted points. So these notes, they were also of what you call very famous actually. I mean, still in the Facebook, YouTube, Telegram, and all, people copy notes and they share with other. I mean, that notes, coaching class notes were also another practice actually, giving the notes to the students, which was bit spoon feeding actually. And question banks, obviously, question banks and practice test, which actually required to get into the exam. Definitely that question banks were required. But what I'm thinking is this guessing the question, by hearting the formula, what you call, or by hearting some tricks or something. This is not what future researchers should do. Am I right? Am I right? Or future teachers should do, isn't it? So that's why, I mean, I have started one more learning center with a different method of preparation. So I will move on here. So next thing is about this coaching business and marketing. You should understand this one also. When we were in school or in high school, at that time only television and paper media was bit dominant. Okay, so whenever we needed toothpaste, okay, when we go to the shop, so we never ask for give me one toothpaste. We ask for give me Colgate. We thought Colgate is the word which is alternative to toothpaste. I mean, because Colgate was doing marketing so well in the TV, in the paper media and all. I mean, those are the only two media that we use much. So that again, we thought Colgate means toothpaste. I mean, we never, I mean, at that time, we never able to guess that, okay, Colgate is a brand name. It is manufacturing toothpaste. There may be many other brands which may be manufacturing toothpaste. I mean, once business is there, there comes marketing. And they will use all media to do that marketing. At that time, TV and newspaper. Nowadays, lots of medias are there to communicate or to go to the people actually. So they are, again, definitely all business are exploring all communication media to do their marketing. Because of this marketing, this and this ideas, okay, I mean, this coaching materials came actually. So whenever somebody join our coaching class, they first thing, I mean, they wish to join our coaching class, first thing that they ask is coaching material. I mean, just like, I mean, when you go to the shop, you will ask for Colgate. You will not ask for toothpaste. Am I right? Speak up. So like that. I mean, coaching materials, I mean, were thought of kind of integral part of this preparation method actually. I mean, because it was marketed so well. Material means I'm talking about notes. I'm talking about question bank. I mean, whatever spoon feeding one can do. So, and not only that, again, I have quoted there, I mean, Paragon footwear. So they were also marketed very well at that time. We thought Paragon means footwear. I mean, when we go to the footwear shop, we used to directly ask, give me one Paragon, not give, I mean, show me some footwear. So, I mean, the similar marketing happened in the coaching business also. Because of that, there are a lot of trends. I mean, people think that this is the way. People are what you call assuming that okay, there is some material that we need to follow. I mean, which is given by the coaching class, which will make us to qualify the exam. It was like, I mean, coaching classes were behaving like they had some medicine. If you take that medicine, you will become Superman. I mean, they were selling their materials in such a way that if you take them, you will become a Superman. So that's how it was what you call marketed so well. So that I mean, it was very difficult for me to swim against the flow actually. So, but somehow up to some extent, I could able to reach people with my ideas and all. So this is about any business and its marketing. Once that huge marketing happens, okay, uh, uh, people the way that people think will change actually, will completely change actually. That business and marketing made this so-called material or question bank, these things. I mean, people think that is a medicine. If I take, I will become a Superman. That's how they were selling those things. So that is about this coaching business and marketing that I wish to quote, which were not good for the future of any researcher, any future researcher. So method that we are proposing in our learning center, solving standard textbooks. Okay, I will talk about the standard textbook later, along with MCQs. Reading, understanding, and solving the standard textbook, along with previous MCQs, topic-wise previous MCQs. So this is the method that we are proposing. It is very simple. There are globally accepted standard textbooks where authors are so brilliant in order to present the subject problems, in order to teach in their whole textbook, solving those textbook along with multiple choice questions, okay, parallelly. So that is the method that I'm proposing here. So why this method? Okay, again, if I tell you some method that it is not there in the market, it's very hard for you to accept. Am I right? Now I will try to go in bit conventional way to convince you this method. Again, conventional way. So that is why we need to solve this standard textbook for MCQ exam. Those who are MCQ exam, right? I mean, we can practice MCQs and we can do that one. Am I right? That's everyone think. Am I right? Why we need to books means, I mean, in our mind it is theory. Am I right? Pick up. These are MCQs. We need formula to solve the MCQs. Why do we need to read the book? Am I right? Pick up. Obviously, this question is there in your mind. But again, I will try to in the conventional method. Okay, speak up. Let us take CSIR net 2022 exam, not this last week CSIR net. I'm talking about 2022, maybe September 2022 CSIR net exam. So there was a question here. You can see this question, okay, on electrodynamics. Okay, that was problem 7.3 from Griffiths electrodynamics. I mean, I don't know whether you can see here. Very exact same relation will come here. Okay, you can see here. I mean, the T by tau, very similar relation will come here. So that is almost direct question. The question is designed using Griffiths. There is no doubt here. Okay. So I'm talking about one exam. Remember, I have taken, for example, one exam. Okay. There are lots of exams that already happened. Okay. This is one question, and the same exam. This is the second question on quantum mechanics. Okay. Can you see? This is problem number 4.13 from Jetili, fourth chapter, one-dimensional problem. When you see that one, I mean, the way that he defined the potential, that's also same. Exactly, they referred the same textbook while designing the problem. Okay, they were asking some, I think this is a kind of transcendental equation that they are asking in the question. So it's a solved I think it's a solved problem in Jatilia. Third question, it was from Boylsted and Neshelke, Electronic Devices and Circuit Theory. I mean, globally very well-known textbook for basic electronics, okay? And this question was a bit tricky. I mean, it needed some idea. I mean, you should have solved at least once to solve that one. Otherwise, some mistake would happen while solving this problem actually. So along with one more electronic question, if I quote, this is called as famous Darlington amplifier, Darlington pair actually. I mean, so that theory as well as very similar circuit was analyzed very well in the same textbook, Boylsted and Neshelke, Electronic Devices and Circuit Theory. This I was talking about one exam, approximately 3 to 4 questions which were almost directly from the textbook. Okay, I mean, if I want you to convince from conventional way, I mean, you want some method where directly whatever you do that should come in the exam, right? Speak up. So that, I mean, it is helpful. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It is not like, I mean, we are solving the textbook, the same problem from the textbook will come in the exam. It is not because of that one. The main idea was to what you call make you independent problem solver. That is the main idea. I will explain this whole. And let us see about last GATE exam. Okay, pick up GATE 2023 exam. Okay, pick up. I made a web page. I will share this web page later. So why one should follow our method like that? I made one web page actually. First example, there was one question, GATE 2023. Okay, speak up. One question here on quantum mechanics on momentum space wave function, which was a problem in Griffiths. And we discussed that one so well because that problem helped us to understand uncertainty principle actually by thinking in a position and momentum space. Even I used to plot the graph in GeoGebra to show how the parameter can be correlated and all. So another example on this is a particle physics question which requires to apply parity and angular momentum conservation to solve the problem. And this question was very well discussed in Crane textbook. It's very famous question actually. I mean, very famous example in the particle physics, which was explained very well in the Crane textbook, how to apply parity conservation and angular momentum conservation together to get a desired result actually. So, I mean, it was explained in the Crane, and I think I spent at least half an hour on that particular problem, and I designed problem also. Okay. Now again, whatever I'm speaking, it looks like again conventional tone. Am I right? I mean, you eat this tablet, you will become Superman. Wait a second. Again, wait for a while. That is not what I mean to say. Okay, pick up. Now again, one more question from atomic physics, which is usual question. Okay, I mean, anyone can do this one on Hund's rule. Many valence electron atom problem, two valence electron atom problem. Okay, and another question on very simple question: which one of the following is dimensionless quantity? That was fine structure constant. Anyone who study any textbook related to that fine structure theory, they will explain what is fine structure constant, because fine structure constant is required to track the order of the corrections actually. I mean, which is higher correction, which is lower correction and all. That's why we define that fine structure constant, which is a ratio of speed of electron in first Bohr orbit to the speed of light. That's the fine structure constant. Since it's a ratio of speed, it is a what you call. I mean, you know all rest of all actually. Only fine structure constant is a bit different one here. Permittivity, permeability, and Bohr magneton. Okay, they all are dimensionful quantity. Okay, that we discussed at least twice or thrice in our class. And another example is one question on linear dependency and independency. If you have done R Shankar first chapter is where we learn linear algebra idea, and Jatili second chapter where we learn linear algebra idea. In Jatili second chapter, you can find similar question actually. So, and we discussed that one in our class. I mean, regarding this while solving the differential equation, solution of differential equation is property. Okay, it will follow linear vector space. Solution of the differential equation, linear differential equation follow kind of linear vector space property actually. So we discussed very similar thing. Again, the whole tone looks like again it's a tablet. You will become Superman here. Okay, wait a second. So there is another what you call complex analysis question. I don't know how people will define order of the pole and all. The best way to define order of the pole is by referring to Lorentz expansion. I mean, if anyone knows about that one. So any standard textbook on complex analysis, okay, I mean, they will define everything with respect to what you call Lorentz expansion only. If you think about Lorentz expansion, it is very easy to understand. By some limit or something, you can get to know order of the pole, and there will be no room for mistake here if you follow that ideal way to detect that one. And this usual question from thermodynamics, that uh, what you call PV and TS diagram. And there were two questions from statistical physics. Very similar examples were given in the reef, actually, ratio of probability, and here magnetic moment, and related to some something. You can see here, I will share this web page. So very similar exercise. I think looks like these gate questions are designed out of those reef ideas only. Okay, and again usual particle physics question here again on conservation laws and some threshold kinetic energy or something. Okay, so and one quantum mechanics question on spin measurement. This is very usual problem if you see Wykelim or even Jetile also. In Jetile also he designed many problem, and in Griffiths also one generalized problem he mentioned actually. So that again, I too designed some question on that particular topic. Spin measurement in arbitrary direction. So like that, there was one more question on specific heat. Fortunately, I designed very similar question. So that a bit twisted, very similar question. Anyone can do this one. Those who understood this specific heat of solids and all non-magnetic metal here. So again, one Stern-Gillick experiment question and all. Okay, and here in this web page, I have collected much more questions here. Previous question which appear directly from the textbook actually. Okay. Now again, the tone that I was speaking, it is like, okay, you take my tablet and you will be Superman. Am I right? No, it is not like that. Look at here. Here it was not me. It was that author. I was a communicator here. We referred those standard textbook, globally accepted textbook. Those authors have done this one. I try to understand myself. I try to feed that one to the student. And student, again, I used to suggest a student so that they can read the textbook again and try to, what you call, understand it in their way, because this is my way. If I teach, it will be in my way. If you read the textbook, it will be your way actually. You may understand in a better manner actually. So that's why this is not what I'm convincing here is that is not what you take this tablet and you will become a Superman. So what I'm trying to convince here is pick up. Do we need to solve the textbook because problem will come from it? No, it is not. If you think like that, we need to solve textbook because the textbook problem come in the exam, then what will happen? You will start by hearting. Learning stops there. If you think that this question may come in the exam, learning stops there. It was our coaching method that, if starting from our board exam in our high school and class 12, again, our coach used to come on the board and write, this is 5 marks question. Once it is 5 marks question, we should start noting that out without questioning again. Who will question? Anyway, we get 5 marks. Am I right? Pick up. So again, if you think that, these questions will come in the exam, again, you will start by hearting that one. Learning stops there. Again, if they design new question, okay, speak up. These gate questions are either twisted or designed new question. Okay, either old question twisted or book question twisted. Okay, old questions are very less these days actually, and or very newly designed question. You can't solve that newly designed question. There comes the competition. One level question everyone can solve. Next level question, there comes the competition. There comes your ranking actually. Pick up. So that's why it is, again, if you think that we need to solve this textbook because textbook problem comes in the exam, this is the same conventional logic actually. This is not what I'm suggesting. You need to solve the textbook. You need to solve the textbook because it will develop independent problem solving skill. So that's what, again, I'm saying here. And in this exam, almost all problems are either new or twisted. Unless you understand it completely, so you can't solve that one problem properly. And these exams, day by day, they are becoming difficult. They are going deep into the concept and asking the question actually. So that's why, that's not what I'm convincing you. Okay, it is just to drag your attention. Otherwise, you will not be convinced, because Again, Colgate was the toothpaste, am I right? Pick up, nothing else. So that's why, I mean, I took this way to convince you that you need to solve the textbook. If any direct question come in the exam, that's a jackpot. If not, you should have a skill. You will definitely develop the skill to solve new question independently to generate the idea. So why we need to solve standard textbook for MCQ exam? Okay, I mean, again, I will list out what will happen if you solve the standard textbook. Okay, conceptual understanding and clarity. You will have a clarity in the concept actually, because those textbooks are globally accepted, and those authors are so, what you call, creative in order to convince the concept and clearly defining the concept. And when you solve those book problem, okay, it is like testing whether you understood those concepts or not. I mean, that's what in the exam they are testing you, whether you understood those concepts or not. Why they are asking so many problem in the exam? Because they want to test you whether you understood or not, isn't it? So those book problem will help you to test whether you understood. I mean, it is a self-testing whether you understood the concept or not. So next thing is, again, you may be thinking that these books are for theory. For MCQ, we need to solve question bank. You are wrong. Books will develop problem solving skill because they contain tremendous creative problem and generalized trick also. They contain generalized trick, not any trick which works only for specific problem. They contain generalized trick also. We need to closely observe those textbook and take a note from the textbook so that we can learn a lot of generalized tricks also. I mean, I think in the web page itself we can see those things. Even in that video also I talked about those things actually. So that's why if you think books are for theory, that is wrong. That may be your semester thinking again. Because in our semester exam, usually they used to ask more theory, less problem. I mean, that's why we might have thought books are for theory, not for problem. No. Again, in Griffith's textbook, the textbook that I'm referring here. So how many problem he gave? Why? Because it will test you. It will develop your problem solving technique. It will push you to some situation where you solve the problem. That's what required in the exam hall actually. Books will develop problem solving skills also. These standard textbook, whatever I'm going to list out now, they will develop problem solving skills also, which is necessary in the exam as well as for the future. I mean, if you take one research problem, you need to apply whatever you know, am I right? Pick up, and you need to solve it. Not only the MCQ question in the exam. So next thing is again, whatever I'm proposing, not only solving the textbook, okay? Parallelly, you should solve MCQs also. Otherwise, that orientation will not happen, okay? Because books problem will not expect you to solve the problem quickly. I mean, or Griffith's problem. It will give you sufficient, you take your sufficient time and solve the problem. Sometimes some a kind of lengthy problem will be there in the textbook, or sometimes some a proof kind of problems will be there that you can just take a note actually. That's why when you solve MCQ parallelly, you will get to know how can I use this book, what you call, knowledge to solve the MCQs. That you need to learn actually. So again, ultimately, you should be able to solve any problem, anytime, any place. Any place means not only in the classroom, in the exam hall also. So that's how you need to prepare yourself. That's why solving standard textbook along with the MCQs, okay, reading, learning, and solving standard textbook along with the MCQs. That is the method that I'm proposing. Remember, books are not for only theory. They are for problem. They will develop problem solving skills also. That you need to observe properly. Okay. So next thing is again, why do we need this one? Because it's only exam, am I right? After that, you need to do either teaching or research, am I right? Again, these books, once you learn how to learn from the textbook, okay, that means you have learning capability. You can learn, I mean, anything. You can read new textbook. You can teach very well. You can do a lot of research. I mean, if you go to the research, there will be no spoon feeding. I hope you guys know that one, okay? You will be just thrown into the ocean where you need to swim actually. So that's why, I mean, once you have that reading capability, reading, understanding, and what you call processing that one, am I right? That should happen. Once you have that capability, definitely that will be, what you call, helpful for your future research, as well as it is helpful for your PhD interviews also, where they check your conceptual hold. There you can't escape. You can't say this formula this will solve this problem. No, they will ask how it came, why. They will ask each and every question in each and every step. So that's why for interview also it is important, as well as it is for the future, either research or teaching.